Your next comic is walking all the way from the front door. Hurry up, get up here. Guys, make it loud and keep it going for Ty Rivera.
Give it up for John, everybody. Excuse me, I'm never where I need to be when I need to be there, so this makes sense. Satoko, thank you for having me. I do appreciate it. Give it up for Satoko, everybody. And Holly, I appreciate you booking me. I do. But you always book me in these neighborhoods that I don't look like I belong in. I feel like you use me to test out the block watch at these. Let's see, if anybody calls, then they're doing their job. If nobody says anything, this is a shit neighborhood and we need to get out of here. Yeah, I need a place for my purse. Thank you, I appreciate it. Pretty girls will always bail you out. It's nice. What do I want to talk to you guys about? I don't know. I'm like, clap if you've seen me before. Okay. So that side of the room, and then right here, this is all new. So I'll let you guys know I'm a faggot. That's the way I like to be addressed. There's gay men and then there's faggots. And if you guys want to know the difference, gay men are getting married, faggots are on Grindr. So that's what I am, and I don't know, you know what I mean? I am kind of tired of the community, and people get mad at me for using the word fag, but here's the deal, guys. All of my best friends are fags, and all of my ex-boyfriends are fags, and I've just had a lot of fag exposure in my life. So I don't know when people start getting touchy and like really caring about that word. And sometimes young gays will try to approach me after the show and they'll be like, I really don't appreciate using the word fag. And I'm like, well then don't be a faggot. I don't know what you want from me, but not today, new booty. I'm not fucking doing it with you. And I don't care about any of the shit they tell me, not even a little bit, you know? And I'm tired of people blaming gay for things like, you know, the kids used to beat me up in school because I was gay. Did you ever think maybe they didn't beat you up because you were gay? Maybe it's because you were a fucking bitch. You have a weak fucking energy. I'm beginning to see why the kids in school used to beat you up. I just met you and I want to shove you into a fucking locker. And I really don't understand that part of it because, you know, I'm Mexican and I know I look Asian, which I'm very clear at the beginning of my set about being Mexican because there was a lot of Asian hate going around and I don't want to get caught up in that shit. Just want to make sure everybody's beating up the right people. But yeah, and I was in LA for a long time, you know, I lived in an MS-13 neighborhood for 4 years, and I blend in really well in those situations. Yeah, as long as I don't open my fucking faggot mouth, we're all right. And I once stopped a sexual assault by saying the words, is this bitch getting raped right now? Which some people find offensive, but I don't know why, you know what I mean? It's a true story, it's what happened. It was loud, and I was like, why are my ears being assaulted right now? And then I asked the question, and I don't think the rapist was being very self-reflective up until that point. Because he paused, you know what I mean? Then I was like, let's get this bitch out of here, and we had her walk in front of us, and he was like still trying to track her, you know, like behind us, and I was with another friend and we were just sort of weaving back and forth so he couldn't get past us, you know, so she could stay in front of us. And then another bitch came around the corner and that bitch looked fucking hard, you know. And she was like, where are you going? Where are you going to that girl? And then I was like, this is where we bail out. And so I went across the street where I could still see but kind of hide, and I called the police because I have the voice of a Karen. Yeah, and I call the police, and you know, if people don't see what I look like, the police actually come. And I know all the words to use, you know. I was like, it looks like it might be a human trafficking situation. Police got there quick. They did, and so when people get mad at that, I was like, well, you know, maybe you don't like my choice of words, but I don't watch how I talk. I just don't. I'm not going to either, you know? I mean, my life hasn't been particularly hard, but I drive a Honda, so it hasn't been particularly great either. You know, like one time I had an ex-boyfriend tell me that, and he had a much rougher life than I did, and we were breaking up, and he was like, go back to your perfect life. And I was like, I drive a Civic, so I don't know what you think a perfect life is, but it ain't happening in a Civic, I'll tell you that. I mentioned being in LA for a while. That was weird because I tried the whole, you know, like, I actually was doing well there for a while until they found out about my personality. Well, because, you know, I'm Mexican and I'm gay, and so, like, they love that right now for diversity, and so, like, I was getting a bunch of shit, and then I said a bunch of shit they didn't like, and then they tried to talk to me about it, and I was like, whatever. And yeah, because it's not going to change, you know what I mean? I don't even have an interest in trying to change at this point. I just say what I say, and I've had, like, friends, because I'm, like, actually from the community, you know? Like, I've been out a long time, and so, like, there's certain things I'll say about trans people that some people don't like, but I'm like, well, do you have any actual trans friends? And then I'll mention I have trans friends, and then, like, activist types will be like, well, you only have trans friends so that you can tokenize them. And I'm like, I've been hanging out with trans people for the last 30 years. Like, trans has only been popular in the mainstream for the last 10. Do you think I was holding on to these bitches for 20 extra years? Hoping that one day I could monetize my connection? These bitches were a fucking liability. They were, like, my best friend Coco, absolutely beautiful trans woman, dumb as fuck though. Just a dumb girl. Like, one time Coco called me and she said we had to go to the mall. She said we had to go to the mall because she needed pantyhose. She needed Aqua pantyhose. Ladies, I have 3 sisters. I know a lot of what you go through. I don't know everything. You say you need something, I've never heard of it. You're the expert. We're just going to go get it. So me and Coco are on the way to the mall. Friends are calling. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, on the way to the mall, with Coco. Got to get some Aqua pantyhose. A couple friends call. I give them the same explanation. We get to the mall. We get in the store. Coco's like, baby, can you grab that package for me? I grab the package. I look at it and I'm like, this is opaque, you stupid bitch. Now I feel like the dumbass because I'm already on the phone. We need Aqua pantyhose. Wanted to call everybody back and be like, you guys, I know the word opaque. I just couldn't see it when she said it. For a minute, they wanted me to do some acting stuff, you know. That was something that happened when I was in LA. But, you know, I didn't really want to be an actor. And they asked me some stupid questions, you know what I mean? Like, can you cry on cue? And I was like, I've been dating men since I was 16 years old. Of course I can cry on cue. How do you think I get shit? But then there's also, like, you know, being Mexican, people want you to talk about that a lot, which, like, I don't really know how big of a part of my experience being Mexican is, you know, because I am actually Mexican-American, and, you know, I mean, like, well, I think of all the worst parts of it, you know what I mean? Like, I had an uncle that had chickens in his yard and sold oranges, and I'm like, do you have to hit every fucking stereotype? Can we leave any of these out? And, you know, he was an asshole. And at a point, the airport bought out, like, this house that I had. It was my grandma's house, but it was mine. And then they offered to buy his house, which was right next door. And they were going to pay way over because the airport actually wanted it. You know how people always talk about that, like the airport wants this and then the airport never buys it. For us, the airport bought it. And at first, I was told that the airport wanted to buy it, and I was like, it's my grandma's house, and then they told me what they were going to pay, and I was like, yeah, get rid of it, I don't fucking care. I'll find another place. And I didn't even live in it, you know, but don't tell them that, because that was part of the settlement. But, well, I was supposed to be living there, so when they came by to check it out, I pretended to be cooking, and... I'm such a beaner, I put on a pot of beans. I did, you know, my uncle, he was an asshole, and he, like, at first he tried to hide, like, the letter that they sent for the offer, you know, because he didn't want us to know, because he didn't want to sell until they came up to something ridiculous, you know what I mean? Like, what he wanted was $500,000, which these houses weren't worth a fucking $500,000. They were made of adobe, basically, you know? They really were, and, like, he wanted $500,000. And then one day my dad was having a conversation with him about it, and he said, they can either give me $500,000 or they can bury me in the fucking driveway. And then he ended up dying not too long later. And I asked my dad, did they bury him in the driveway? And my dad was like, nope, they cremated his ass. So that showed him. And, you know, I don't talk to people a lot in social situations like this, only because people tend to overshare with me. And I'm a person that usually is kind of in my own head. And so I'll usually find a spot by myself, and I'll be away from everybody. And I did that not too long ago at a party. And a woman walks up to me, and she was like, you look lonely, which I've learned is code for I've got a bunch of shit I want to unload on you. Sure enough, within 5 minutes, this complete stranger tells me she was molested as a child. I was like, who wasn't molested as a fucking child? I know I was. I don't talk about that shit at parties because some of us can actually keep a fucking secret. I mean, didn't your molester tell you to keep this on the hush? Confidentiality and discretion just gone completely out the fucking window? And who are these sloppy molesters running around touching these loose-lipped fucking kids? Don't know how to be patient and pick the shy one anymore? Yeah, this is my life. And so I'm a twisted person. That's very true. The last guy I was dating, we broke up because he told me I was toxic. And I was like, how many face tattoos do I have to get for people to just know that? Did you look at me and think you were going to have a healthy relationship? Because I don't think that's what I'm giving, you know what I mean? And then one guy I was seeing, he told me that he was attracted to me because I reminded him of his stepdad. Yeah, and I was like, so when am I seeing you again, son? I don't care why we fuck. I think of other people too. But, you know, he was really sexy, but he was 25, and I'm not 25. People always want to know my age, but I don't see a point. It's like, what do you need it for? Sometimes people try to talk shit to me online, you know, they'll try to, like, it's weird, like, because I've been on the internet for a long time, you know, which if you guys get a chance, check out my YouTube. It's getting popular, and a lot of people are enjoying it, but it's a bunch of shit that I shouldn't say, but... It's cool, it's fun, but some of the shit people come at me with, you know, like one lady hit me up in private message and was like, nobody cares what you say anyway, your lips are clearly made of Botox. Very offensive, my lips are silicone. My forehead was Botox. Poor people never know what they're talking about. Yeah, which I stopped getting Botox in my forehead because I want my friends to see exactly how disappointed I am in them. People tell me all the time, Ty, you look mad. And I'm like, I always felt this way.